Okay, bowlers, we do have a tie on the men's side for fourth and fifth. So, Carter, if you want to come down to lane 14, we'll do a coin toss and see who's fourth and who will be fifth for this next game. So then coming in third, Mark Miller. Second, Tyler Ticat. And first, Derek Holm by 2 over Tyler. For the ladies, fifth place is Jen Baker. Fourth, Julia Robaco. Jenna Lammer was third. Jennifer Layden second. And Christine Polza first. So once is the coin toss done? Who's which? Adam Smith, Curtis is fourth. Okay. So for the men, all right, men, fourth, fifth, we're going to be on 17 and 18, right? And the ladies will be on 9 and 10. Good luck, everyone. Okay, and the warm-up lanes will be, for the next match will be on 3 and 4. All right, the judge players will come down and put the names in. Okay, we're going to give the fourth and fifth spots a 5-minute warm-up. And the judge of plays will put in the names.
They're just working. I think they left the coin that all for the first one, so I think that's like one. Seventh frame is
good. He had all the reasons why he was in the right. And I was like, actually wrong. Actually wrong. DB's like,
I was like, last time I heard
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing this afternoon? Here we are. Daryl Bradley with you, Katie Hicks. We're going to do a little commentary for the single stepladder 2023, the Alberta Open. We have successfully finished 10 games so far. Chinook Bolodrome. Pretty exciting finish, wasn't it, Katie, in both divisions?
Very intense, yep.
So in first place in the men's, let's run down the men's division first. So in first place, we have Derek Holm. He finished with a 298 his last game to beat Tyler Titgat, who had a 296 his last game, and those 2 points was the difference maker overall for them. So pretty close for over 10 games to only have 2 points difference. So they're looking forward to making their way up the stepladder. Third place, Mark Miller. He had a big last game, 275. A couple of guys in behind him didn't have a great last game, so he moved up a couple spots. Curtis Deering from the south, he's in fourth spot, actually tied with Adam Weber, 26.95. So top 5 guys all averaging just shy of or over 270, I guess, with the guy 26.95. Over in the ladies division, very close as well finish, top 3 finish, all within 16 points. But our winner in first place, who will have the double knockout life, is Christine Potza from Calgary. And then in second place, we had Jennifer Layden, who no stranger to a few stepladders. And then in third place, we have Jenna Lamoureux, last year's champion, and this year's Masters champion as well, representing Alberta at singles at nationals in Newfoundland. In fourth place from Edmonton, Julie Arabko. And then in fifth place, Jen Baker from Central. So pretty stacked lineup overall here in the single stepladder. What do you think, Katie? We're going to be able to switch back and forth here on the stream that you're watching between both matches. So obviously 1 game match now. You've got Julie and Jen Baker playing. Julie just threw 1 frame. Jen will now throw 2 frames, and then they'll alternate back and forth.
Yep, former teammates. Jen used to throw out of Edmonton as well, so they're both very familiar with each other. Should be a good match.
And over here, we have the men's going. So we've got Adam Weber playing Curtis Deering. So it looks like Curtis got a left corner spare first, and then Adam, now he'll be throwing the 2 frames back and forth. So we'll try to change it a little bit back and forth. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you've watched a lot of this. It's been kind of fun to watch and a little close. Some pretty good pinfalls, some good splatters. Nothing, outrageous. We did have a couple of 400s in the men's division. Tyler Titgat in the 4th game with a 418. And then with a 416, Thomas Tompkins, who was making a charge from the north. And Thomas only missed out on the stepladder by 35 pins. Pretty close. The winner of this match will, of course, go on and play the 3rd place, female or male respectively. Then the winners will move on and play the 2nd place. And the winner of that will go on and play the 1st place qualifier. But that 1st place qualifier has a double life, so they have to lose twice.
Yeah, and on the men's side, for literally coming down to the very last ball, it's a big advantage to finish first. So very intense finish to that match. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out once they go down to having to come up the ladder and win twice against Derek.
Yeah, certainly a tough feat to do, isn't it, when you're working your way up, and that second life is huge, right? Because if you do lose that first game, sometimes the guys coming running up the step ladder, they're warmed up, right? They get that 2, 3, 4 games kind of going if they're moving, and just that train of chugging along. So.
Yeah, it looks like Jen started with a couple plows here. Kind of caught up with her in the last couple games of the roll-off, but Jen's a very strong thrower and mentally strong, so it'll be interesting to see how this pans out for her.
You see, too, that in the singles and the stepladder side, you're allowed to have a support system, so a qualified coach can be down in that pit just to sort of help guide you along. You know, saying the positive things, saying the things that you want to hear as you're getting prepared to go and make your shot. Couple tough punches there for Jen Baker. Julie can take advantage of her. She does not. Let's see what's happening to the guys here.
Same on this side, Adam, with 2 plows to start.
Adam Weber, last year's champion, won, and then an old-time player, Curtis Deering, from the south. So great to see him back and motivated here to make it and being in the stepladder. So he lost a couple of spots there in his last game. He was sitting in 3rd place for a bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of the younger individuals out of our zone for sure are not familiar with Curtis because it's been a while since he's thrown, but definitely a very strong contender, capable of throwing huge games.
Makes that whole contingent a little bit stronger, a little
Absolutely.
bit wiser. You know, you got a guy like Curtis Deering, and he's played anchor in that spot, you know, for South for so many years. It just, you know, life gets in the way, and busy, and ranching, and working hard, and you know, I know that he's got a big cattle ranch, and there's having babies right now. So
And
he's
young family, right?
Yeah.
Priorities change for a little while. and
100%.
Yeah, it's great to see him back.
Not when he's missing spares and missing middle, though. We don't need to see that, do we?
And
Okay.
Julie throws the strike, looks like. Sorry for Jen. Get her started.
So it looks like Len Madarash. Is that who in the pit there with?
No, it's Tom Tompkins.
That's the
Oh,
jersey.
sorry, no, that's the jersey. You're right. Yep, that's Len.
Yeah.
Have to be level 2 to coach.
Yeah, you've got to be level 2 and have all of your extra clinics. So, you know, I've actually been fortunate enough to be in the pit a couple of times. Derek Holm once when he won. A couple of players when they haven't won. But you know, players ask me, but I can't go all the way in because I don't have all the full clinics. I can always stand at the back and sort of guide them along. So we'll see if it's the same case this year, or they elect for somebody that can stand right up in front with them.
And it looks like Tim.
Yeah, you
Is it Tim
betcha.
in there with Julie?
Yeah. It's
like Lynn Howell in with Adam.
Been in that spot many times. Lynn has with Adam or any opponent. Seems like he's always in there supporting. You know, Bruce Mortar for many years.
Phenomenal mental coach.
Yeah, he's saying what the player wants to hear right next to you, and that's the guys putting it in your ears before you're going to go down the approach.
Did you see who was in with Curtis? Did you?
I'm not sure if who's in there. Might be Scott Wiseman, to be honest with you, because Scott is coaching them this year for men's. But a shout out, 3 headpins in a row for Adam. But you know, I know there's somebody down in the pit there with Curtis Deering, and that's his dear old friend Fred Anderson, who is not here with us anymore. But I know that's some extra motivation for Curtis out in the pit there, playing and probably feeling him out there. This is one of those ones that he wants to get.
A little extra motivation push.
Everybody's got something driving them, don't they?
Yep.
We're just at Chinook Bolodrome here, Chinook Mall, middle of Calgary. Not a crazy packed house here, but certainly lots of people, you know, hanging around, watching and seeing what's happening. But we're sort of tucked off into the side into one of the little party rooms. So every now and then we get a whiff of noise from the bowlers out there, don't we, Katie?
Yeah, we'll try to flip back and forth by the crowd cheers.
Yeah, because if they're not cheering what's on the screen, that means they're cheering what's on the other screen.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can move it back and forth.
It's a tough miss for Jen there. That's a big shot, getting herself back into it with the strike and then the open. She's dig deep and find something here big for her.
couple other bowlers who not quite making it here into the step ladder, rounding them out. So we did say Thomas Tompkins was just shy, but then also running it down, we had Parker Anderson, we had Dexter Wiseman, Gary Baird, Anthony Street, Mike Hershey, Robert Tompkins, Rob Clark, David Sisko, and Brian Hurst. Over on the ladies' side, how did we do there? Who didn't quite make that one, Katie?
So Katie Rayner qualified one spot out. And Emma Jean Ostrikoff, Demara Halverson, Bonnie McDonald, Tara Seats, Corey Peugeot, Trina Neufeld, Larissa Long, Diane Violini, and Holly Werner, rounding out the ladies competing in the singles this afternoon.
Okay, so Adam got his strike in 4.
That's a big shot for him to keep himself in this match and hopefully go on a bit of a run here. Curtis throws a big shot right back.
Curtis Deering is famous for closing his eyes up on the approach. That was one of the things when you're up there on the approach and you look over and this guy's got his eyes closed and you're like, hey buddy, we're like kind of bowling here.
Yeah, whatever works, right?
Obviously he opens them as he starts taking his steps,
Right.
but it's just one of his visualization things technique that he does. Ooh, and a punch there for Julie. Okay, so that tightens up a little bit there as Jen gets her strike in 6.
Been an interesting pinfall here today.
Yeah, we've seen a few 12 counts, a couple of, explosion chop-offs coming back, a few blow-throughs I've kind of seen again, so kind of the normal, but,
Yeah.
a 289 average for a 10 game, that's pretty solid, and 260 in the ladies' side.
Yeah, and everybody qualifying on the ladies' side over 250. Men's side 270-ish and up. So
Yeah,
big scores.
in 9th place for the men's, we were 242. In the ladies' side, our low was 209, and it's sort of odd to see the 1 second from the bottom there with a 209 average. Diane Violini, who's of course been at the top of the standings for so many years, but this year just wasn't her go.
An absolute legend of the sport. It's great to see her still coming out
Yeah,
and throwing and supporting her team. And big shot for Jen there as well.
Diane's high game was her last one at 234. Okay, so, a couple of 30 counts there for Curtis, something building on. Stick and watch Weber and go back to the ladies as they're nearing probably closer to finish. The guys are a little bit slower than the ladies.
Yeah, we'll be able to catch the end of both matches, hopefully. Big shot for Adam there as well.
Big double there, Adam, yeah. Ooh, so Jen Baker, she gets the triple now, 6, 7, 8. She's got a turkey. So Julie's going to have to answer back herself here, starting herself, the first one to go in, or set match in 8. A little miss. You start doing the math. Once they start getting into 7 and 8, it's like, okay, what can they max out at
Right.
now?
Yeah.
Big spare there. So we got a max 273 for Julie, max 326 still for Jen. So Julie's
60 pins,
yeah.
give or take. One ball can change a lot.
Yeah, one ball here, and then Jen's got to answer, right?
Yep. Yeah, this is a big
Again,
thing for Julie.
Jen's been in this situation many a time too.
Yes.
Great shot.
Yeah, great shot for Julie.
So big now, a little bit of pressure, if you will, coming back at.
For Adam.
Okay, so we doubled and he misses, yeah. Ooh, his little slider,
Yeah.
little squeaker.
It's a very tight match.
Go back. to the ladies. They're a little bit quicker. Okay, so Jen went. Sorry, we missed that shot, everybody. That was Jen had the turkey. She goes up and she punches. Our bad. You know, you all want to see that. What's Jen got?
Yeah, and this opens the door a bit for Julie as well in this match.
Well, that's why that strike in 8 was so important there for Julie, wasn't it? Being able to match the one in 8. Ooh. Feeling like this one's going to come right on down to it. Both of these matches always going to. There's always an option. There's always a chance. It's going to keep working.
Yeah, less than 10 pins on this, separating these two.
So he gets the spare, and Jen or a punch there in 9. So 222. So she's got a max 267 now. So
Julie's
Julie.
got 273 potentially if she bangs out.
Come on.
That's a good shot for Jen.
Got the first one. See where those guys are at before Jen throws.
So 9 pins different.
Lots of time to come back to these guys. Let's keep watching Jen Baker.
You bet.
She gets 2 of them. So she bangs out. Julie's going to need double corner, double 12 count.
Yeah. And this is a big shot for Jen too, right? To force her to throw both the first 2, for sure.
You bet.
Yeah.
She got them all.
Jen's such a fiery competitor, and she can throw when she needs to throw.
Double side is what she needs. 65. But she needs a double for sure.
The double is key.
Julie's right up on the lane, not wasting any time to get up there and get after it. Here she goes.
Oh, and she leaves the corner.
Leaves the corner, so she's not going to quite make it because you got a max 248 now for Julie Robko. Jennifer Baker, you're advancing on to the next round. You will be playing Jenna Lamoureux.
She misses the corner there as well.
Good effort. Your time will come, Julie. Keep on shooting. Heck of a shooter.
Yeah, great game. Back and forth pressure.
Ooh, Adam Weber punches. So looks like Curtis Deering got that strike in 7. So he's got 145 in 6. So he's got max 325. Adam Weber chopped cherry. So he's 144 and 7. Bangs them all out. He's 279. Certainly on the beak here for Adam. Had a little bit of a struggle start today, I'd say, for Adam standards anyways.
Yeah.
262, 240, 269, 279, 290, got to go in a couple there. Then 242, 260, but then had a 363. It kind of pushed him up into stepladder area.
Yeah, and that was really his only huge game for, big game for Adam. He's very consistent all day other than that one really good game. 233 low game, 363 high.
Yeah, and then Curtis Deering, he started off pretty solid. 320, 234, 335, 241, 341, 278, 285, and he was smooth sailing. Kind of, coasted home, if you will, from a 201, 243, 217. Wouldn't say nerves, maybe tired, maybe whatever, but then started playing for positioning. But got yourself into the step ladder. That's all that matters at that point.
Yeah, he was, after the first 6, he's averaging 290.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the 3 games over 300, he put himself in a position where he could sort of just coast along and still make it. Obviously, he probably would have liked to keep that up, but great shooting for somebody who hasn't been in this for a long time.
And he throws a double here, right back now against Adam Weber.
wait for the tangle to be fixed on the lane next to him.
Yeah, certainly going to take his time and go when you're ready.
Yeah, and big shots.
Been a while since this. You don't want to be rushing your shots and kind of getting up there and making mistakes. So you definitely want to be settled and ready. Good breathing techniques, good visualization, a little bit of everything happening here to make sure you're ready to go.
Yeah, and it's funny, you can be out of the competitive side of this sport for so long, and then it comes down to these matches, and your mental game comes back so easily. The same thought process as usual. What he misses there.
The drive, the competitive nature, the want, the bucket list, the thing unfinished, if you will, whatever it is, it's pushing you right to the end.
I don't think that ever goes away once you've been in that sort of spot, that competitive mindset.
We see that lots, don't we, Katie, in the sport, is that bowlers may take a significant break and then come back and play at a high level. You know, it's not uncommon. And we see it a lot more often. Ooh, slider.
Big spare for him, yeah.
You know, not uncommon. We see that in the WCBT on the tour or club tour. I mean, you see it out there that there's some of these all-time legends who are still playing and wanting to be competing, and they're actually putting on pretty good shows. So,
yeah, and sometimes it's a different tournament. You know, they move into the senior masters, they move into coaching, but that the fire is still always there to be at that high level.
You know, in our 5PL, the team pro league that happens on Sunday mornings, YouTube, check it out. 5Pin Universe 5PL is the pro league. You know, a couple older gentlemen, you know, Hank and Don Campbell or Alan Byrne, you know, from the Okanagan Eclipse or from the Vancouver Island Pin Slayers. You know, they're up over 70 years old. They're still playing and are playing at a high level.
Yep. It's a tough punch for Adam there.
That's almost going to do it there, unfortunately, for our last year's previous champ, Adam Weber. Probably going to fall short of what his goals were for this weekend from the singles side of things. Anyways, obviously still have team competition in the next 3 days.
Yeah, and it seemed like Adam was struggling with plows a lot today with the punches, getting on a run and punching, and it kind of stops the momentum of the game. Adam's definitely a person that can come back from that and throw huge shots when he needs to. It just seems to be a bit of a struggle for him today.
So he's got max 229 in there. Curtis Deering's already at 225. So there's just formality now in a way to finish this off.
A corner there for Adam.
So we'll see Curtis Deering advancing to play Mark Miller from Calgary. 2 Calgarians, 2 Edmontonians in both sides. A lone wolf from Central and Jen Baker, and then a lone one from South and Curtis Deering representing their zones as we move forward. It's going to be a fun weekend here. Lots national championship trip. Last weekend in May on the line.
There's a great shot from Curtis.
So he's going to max out at 285. There's one down, he's saying to himself.
Yeah. And then on the ladies' side, it'll be Jen Baker taking on Jenna Lamoureux.
Yeah, Jenna Lamoureux is only 2 points out of second spot. Saved herself a match, but it's okay. I think last year, if I recall, she actually was maybe in 4th spot and played 3-4 games and worked her way right to the end.
Yep, she did. She went up the ladder
And won the 2 games in the end.
yeah.
Which I believe is the same thing that both finals actually went 2 games last year.
It's definitely hard to come in that first spot in your first game after sitting for a while and watching everybody else play these 3 games beforehand. It's the advantage of being first, where you have the double knockout required to pass first place.
The next game, we are switching sides. Curtis Deering has beaten Adam.
We'll throw you on mute here for a couple minutes. We'll be right back as we get our next session all started to go.
267, Julie 224. So Jen, you'll come down to lane 17 and 18, and Curtis, you'll go to 9 and 10. Okay, that'll be for the next round. The bowler in third position has the option of going first or second. Please let your judge know. So it'll be Curtis against Mark Miller.
And we're back. Did you miss us?
Rolling right into the next
Yeah.
set of matches here.
So we got Curtis Deering playing Mark Miller. Curtis Deering will throw one frame. Mark Miller will then go up and throw two, and they'll trade off back and forth, 2 frames, 2 frames, 2 frames until the very end, where Curtis will get to play 1 frame to finish.
And as the higher qualifier, you get to choose whether you'd like to throw first or second, potentially deciding whether you would like to know what you need to throw in the 10th frame or not, or throw first and try to put the pressure back on your opponent.
And a couple different, schools of thought and what people have done, and depending on if they've got history against each other and how they're feeling for that day. So,
Bit of strategy involved in deciding who throws first.
so it looks like Jenna Lamru's got Heidi Mapstone in there supporting her in the pit. See Heidi in there, accomplished player and coach now. Going to be playing on the late Edmonton ladies team coming up here next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Daryl Bradley, Katie Hicks here on the commentary. 2023 Alberta Open singles Stepladder.
Jen just keeps rolling with a strike. And she'll go up on lane the other side to throw her next ball. They did have to swap. The men and ladies have swapped, so they're playing on new sets.
Mark Miller, he answers Curtis's first strike in frame 1, and now he's up to go in 2. I'm expecting a little bit of fireworks in this match, I feel like.
There's another great shot.
Mark Miller, huge competitor down from the Calgary region. He's got some drive, and he's certainly been in this situation a few times. I know he's had a lot of success. Not sure if he's won yet, but we get that monkey off the back for Mark Miller. Definitely quality player for sure.
Another punch there for Jenna.
And there's the double for Curtis. 4 strikes so far in the match. Are you not entertained? Something like that. Not yet, hey, not yet.
This is,
Yeah, if you're watching, share this feed.
yeah,
Text your friends, let them know.
this is the exciting, intense part of our game. Comes down to 1 match roll-offs potentially. great shot for Curtis there as well.
And you can hear the crowd starting to get into it a little bit. Turkey there for Curtis Deering. Jenna gets one back. Okay. Needs to get one to get rolling.
Yep.
You know, I sort of feel the same thing. Jen Baker's on a bit of a breakout potential here. Sure, this is something that she wants to be done because nationals are in Bonnie Doon, Bowling Center in Edmonton. Many of you watchers out there know what Bonnie Doon we hear about as quality pinfall.
And a miss there for Jen, so.
Okay, Miller punch in 3. Advantage Curtis. Miller will get to be able to go first in 4. Go back to the ladies.
It looks like
We try to tell by the graphics, don't we? Like,
yeah. Spare for Jen in that frame there.
Sparedini, was that what that
Yeah.
was? Yeah. Jen's quick, isn't she? Like in her approach and her setup. I mean, just
go, right?
Yeah.
And you know, when you're throwing well and you're feeling it, you just keep going.
Yep.
Another great shot for her
Got
there.
a good tempo, good speed to her.
Yeah, try to keep everything consistent from the first, you know, the very first thought in your head to your lane speed and everything you're thinking about.
Game of very, very small
Margins.
margins, isn't it? Like it is a millimeter we're talking, or a very little bit of a finger roll. Like it doesn't, not much adjusts.
Yeah, and a great shot for Jenna there to get a bit of a run going. Yeah, and the pressure change and the momentum change is a lot more obvious than these type of matches. You can see it as an individual level rather than the teams, that there's a lot of momentum going back and forth between the two players throughout the game. Pressure. Another one for Jenna there.
Good job, Biggs. Come on, girl.
And Jennifer leaves a corner. Picks up the spare. Looks like
Curtis on the ham bone he has.
Yep. Leaves the corner there.
A lot of finger roll on the ball that Curtis throws. A little bit of a backup ball. Hard sweeping back up, and ball comes right back into it, or if it's on the high side of the pin, it'll just sort of splatter away. Fun to watch these bowlers at this level. Little oopsies for Jen Baker there.
Yeah, this is a big spare for her. Put some pressure back the other direction. She can get it.
Oh, and
She does.
give her a badge.
It's a little
Super
YBC.
spare.
Yeah.
Oh, as an opponent, though, do you want to see that? It doesn't matter. It's going to be a spare. It's a 30 count. You have to
Yeah.
expect it. Well, she only got the 18 count, I guess, on the spare and 5, but she still
Yeah.
blacked it up. So
Still a big spare to make sure she keeps the pressure on, stays close in her match. At this level, you know, one frame makes or breaks so many games, and you have to be on with every shot. Your second shots matter, your third shots matter.
oh yeah, especially into this format. I mean, 1 or 2 opens is absolutely the difference.
Yeah, detrimental sometimes.
Jenna covers it up. So she's got 140 in 5 with a spare in 6. Potential up to the 170 in 6. Still looking at a 350 up there for Jenna. Lots of frames to go here, but
So 3-point difference after 5 frames for these two.
yeah.
Very close. She answers right back.
Solid shot there, wasn't it? That was a
Yeah, that was a good
no-doubter.
shot. And she just gets up and goes on that one too.
Mark Miller throws his double in the 5th frame. Taking his time before he acts and ready to go in 6. Oh, and he knew it early, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. He gets to the triple. Jen Baker gets a strike. Both of them
Yep,
just trading blows,
3-point
Katie.
match still, yep. Yeah, these are two very, very strong women bowlers. Some of the definitely best in the province, some of the best in the country.
Look at that.
Young women coming out of Alberta.
Going to be around for a long time, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
Look at that, 173 and 6. Double 7-8. She's got sitting with the max 353 for Jen. Just a little noise there. Curtis Deering got a big one. Thinking there was a little bit of a fist pump on there. Go back to Jenna. The ladies are a little bit quicker on this. Oh, and Jenna
great
throws
shot.
it too. They are not wasting time on throwing strikes.
Yeah, gets the push to get the corner down. Oh.
But going to wait for her ball, though, nonetheless.
Now I'm going to reset the other side.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's a clean
Yeah.
set while I'm standing up there looking at it, too. Sorry, a little back and forth there, seeing who's going to go first.
Yeah, I would expect the ladies to finish a bit quicker than the men.
There's Jenna's shot.
On the punch.
Too many back and forth, Daryl.
Yeah, and there's another huge shot there.
Huge shot for Curtis Deering. He gets the double. 193 and 5, so he's still shooting 400 up there.
Yeah, potential 169 and 5 for Mark.
So Jen Baker is going to finish 9th and 10th frame. Have the opportunity to shut out Jenna Lamoureux. Going to require a couple of strikes in there. It's not a...
Yeah, Jenna Max is out at 290.
And we were 353. No, sorry, yeah, 353 for Jen Baker with 4 more strikes here.
Yeah, a couple really big shots coming up for her right now. She leaves a corner.
Leaves a corner, so that significantly will come down. Strike Curtis, or Mark Miller, sorry. Mark Miller goes and he throws 2 more strikes. Or another strike. So now he's got a ham bone. He's coming charging back against Curtis Deering. Now it's are you not entertained? So he's 169 and 5. Not down by much.
Yeah, and he'll throw first for 8, and then he'll throw 9, 10 last. Jacks are spare.
So 246, 276 now in 8. She throws the first strike in 9. Or sorry, in 10. And pretty much done here. If she throws a strike.
Yeah,
well, if she
290
throws a strike,
max
it
for
is done.
Jenna. Yeah.
So she's got 261 there in 9 with the 15 count auto.
Yeah, and then the 30 more for the strike. Put her at 291 with the strike. Oh, and she
Punches. Oh boy. Katie, 266, max 281. Jenna Lamoureux will have a chance. She'll need a double chop.
Yeah, these are big pins up on the lane for Jen as well.
Okay, so Mark Miller, corner in 8. I don't think we saw that. He gets a corner, so not quite running after Curtis, but
Yeah.
he certainly put some pressure on for sure. We'll watch this back in a sec. Let's see what kind of pinning.
Yeah, she takes the first 5 side here. Puts her at 276 at the moment, which then forces Jenna to have 2 marks.
She knows too, every pin matters here.
Yeah, absolutely big shots.
Gets them all.
Yeah.
Okay, so 281.
So she needs the first 2 strikes.
Looks like they got Len Matarash a different shirt.
Oh, he's wearing his own shirt now.
No, I think it's a Tim Wiseman shirt.
Oh.
Jen wins. Maybe I'll have to change somebody else's
Yeah.
shirt. Just keep it changes.
He'll represent every zone in the pit today.
That's the good thing about the down in the pit. You don't have to be picking somebody from your own zone. You can pick anybody you want as long as they're qualified to go past the set of stairs in the pit.
Yeah, and it shows the tight-knit community. People will have other zones helping coach and willing to help other people succeed. And a punch for Jenna, so that match is over.
That is done. So Jen Baker will advance against Jenna Lamry. So both of last year's champions are out from Edmonton.
Yeah, so Jen will face Jennifer Ladden from Calgary. Curtis misses.
Okay, so a little
Opens it up a bit.
does. So 242, 272, still 362 up there for Mark Miller. A big spare here. 258, 288, 378. Should he spare this? What a huge game. The chop.
Maybe.
Whoa.
Yeah, it gets
Okay, an extra bonus pin. So he'll be 270 and 8. So 2 pins potentially down from Mark Miller. Mark Miller gets a strike in 9. He's up by 2.
Yeah, that extra 2 pin falling, counting on the double, does make a difference as well going into those last few shots. So potential 360 for Curtis.
Yeah, so he'll only throw 1 more frame here. And then 2 more by Miller to finish.
Yeah, and then Curtis will have the 10th frame.
That's right.
To finish the end. He'll know what he'll need at that point. Great shot for Curtis.
Got it.
Pumped up.
Yeah, he sort of looked like he wobbled out of his shot there and a little bit the footwork,
A little
but
unbalanced at
he
the
got
end.
it. He'll go sit down and take a little breather. Nice little.
Yeah, so strike here would put Mark up by 2 pins going into 10.
Yeah, so Mark can shut him out, right? 4 strikes, Mark gets 362. Curtis's max is 360.
Right. Yeah, if he throws all 4.
Got the first one.
There we go.
So now remember, he can throw 3 more here, shuts out Curtis Daring.
That's the first one.
Gets the first one. And not going to rush anything, just going to continue to do his breathing. This is, Mark Miller. We had him on a podcast or something, and he really talked about how much he's worked on his breathing techniques and really lowering the heart rate in pressure situations. Something that I definitely took to heart and
Yeah,
learned.
Yeah.
learned over the last year a little bit more is just really take it down in that final preparation moment.
Yeah, and in these big, intense moments, grounding yourself, getting back to, you know, the basics of the mental game, not worrying about what's happening around you or what your opponent is throwing, and just throwing what you need to throw is a huge benefit. Oh, and he punches.
Okay, punch. So, I mean,
Opens it up back for Curtis to have a chance.
certainly Curtis has to probably throw the first one.
Yeah.
270, maybe not. So he can get 60 count, which he'll get. So 25, 20, 20. He's 25. He goes 332. Curtis will need the first strike.
260 max, or 360 max, sorry, for Curtis. Yeah.
But
These are also pig pins.
Okay, so now it's 332. That forces Curtis to throw the first strike. Absolutely has to, because you can't get the 60 count.
Yeah, the 60 count's not enough, so. You know, Curtis has been in this situation before.
It's certainly been a long time, but this is what he craves. This is what, you know, you got to make these shots in order to advance. I mean, it's a 330 game here.
Huge competitor. Take a little bit extra, ground yourself. Yeah, and he gets it.
He got the first one, Curtis Deering. We're clapping back here in the room behind because we're a fan of Curtis Deering too. Huge shot. Okay, so
So now,
well, a match +2, so no punch inside. So
yeah, he
you
needs
know, a chop.
a count here. Yeah,
Chop's guaranteed because then you're now into that 335 range.
right.
Chop gets you to 310 plus 25 or 335.
Yeah, that's 7 count and 8 may come down to being the difference.
Yeah, there's 4 extra pins there, isn't it?
Takes the 5 side there.
Okay, so now he's going to need them all in order to get a 335. So he needs them all. He needs, well, he can get the 8
He can
count.
leave the corner, yeah.
Curtis Deering.
Yeah. It's be interesting to know what's going through his head right now.
Execute,
Just
process, and throw
confident
it.
shots and resetting and
Throw the shot.
yeah, and it's enough.
And he got it. Congratulations,
Great
Curtis
shooting,
Deering.
Curtis.
What a great match by these two competitors. Unbelievable match. Curtis Deering, 335 to Mark Miller's 332.
Yeah. And
Outstanding.
yeah, and that extra deuce that went in 8
You're right,
makes
Katie.
a difference.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we'll throw you on mute here for a sec. We'll come right back at you. Good stuff. Thanks for watching.
For the ladies, Jen Baker, 281 to Jen Oliver's 260. And just finished now, Curtis Deering with a 335 to Mark Miller's 332. Amazing goalie. We're going to move you, and they've got to set up the cameras here. So the women, Jen Baker will be playing, Jennifer Wade, and they will be on lanes 11 and 12. And for the men, Curtis Deering will be playing Tyler Tikat, and they're going to be on lanes 15 and 16. So just give us a few minutes for the guys to have their cameras set up and ready to go. Guys, you can let me know when you're ready. Okay, Judge Grace, you can put the names in. They are ready to go. Next there.
And no time wasted here, are we at all, friends? We are back into it. Semifinal. We've got the men's side here. Curtis Deering facing Tyler Tickat. Tyler Tickat, as we mentioned earlier, was only lost by 2 pins behind Derek Holm. 319, 323, 237, then 418, 278, 251, 233, 293, 240, and a 296 to finish.
Yeah, very intense finish for those two. It came down to the absolute last ball. Tyler going in knowing he needed to bang out to tie for the first spot and got tapped on his last ball.
Over on the ladies' side, a couple of Jennifers going at it here. There's Jenna's and Jennifers. And my goodness.
All the J's.
If you want to be a good bowler, you want to be called Jen. Yeah.
Yeah, and both of these matches have now switched lanes so that nobody plays on the same lane twice coming up the stepladder.
Yeah, Jen Layden lets us off her score. So 221, 299, 254, 216, 220, 360, 213, 268, 268, 273 for a 225.92. Not the start that I don't think Jen Layden wanted. It was a 3-pin.
A bit of a tough start for Curtis on the men's side here. Coming off of such an intense win to move on to the next round. It's a bit of adrenaline change. And
it is. You kind of want to hope that, can I just get a couple ones to start so I get myself into the match instead of forcing it early? But you'll certainly take that spare and work with it. Tyler's a motivated individual too. So young, but so experienced. Has seen his name at top of leaderboards across the country for the last, 5+ years in the adult ranks. But boy, is he going to be around for a long time. Tyler Tickat's an amazing shooter.
Yeah, and it's amazing to watch him play. Very quiet, reserved, and then he gets on the lane and throws when he needs to throw, and he's intense and fired up, and it's incredible to watch him be able to turn on the intensity and perform every time.
It's so smooth.
Yeah.
Like you barely even hear the ball hit the lane. Like you don't hit it. It's just, it is as smooth as can be. But still a ton of fingers, a ton of junk on the ball that's just making it move and splatter once it hits it. He plays with around a few different bowling balls too, depending on how he's shooting. But that's just a sign of the skill set that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some bowlers use one set of bowling balls for all their life, and then some guys are changing every 4 frames. Len Anseth.
Yeah, and up in Edmonton, all of the centers have the new pin bases. Chinook still has the older white bases, so sometimes the ball change is required for different houses. Get a different break off of the ball.
We find that the ball hits a little bit higher with the new bases.
Yeah.
Right? So it's sometimes bounces off to the side a little bit, so it's a little bit more.
It's the slightest changes, in
traditional here, isn't it? A little bit at. But they still have the Chinook, but they still have the synthetic. The one thing that's interesting is that the lane is at the same height as the pit area. So you don't, sometimes a lot of places you have to step up, 3 inches. But here it's just a smooth transition.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it feels weird as someone who doesn't throw on a flat approach like that, but it doesn't change the way you throw it all. It's just a bit of an interesting feeling that you're not used to. It's just something changes slightly in your pre-shot routine. Yeah, there's a great shot for Curtis to get himself into the flow of things.
I'm seeing another big one coming at us here, Katie.
Yep.
Let's go back to the ladies, see how they're doing.
Right.
So Jen Layden, a tough start with a couple of opens. Jen Baker looking to bounce all over that. And she does. Almost one person you don't really want to give a lot of room to, is it, Jennifer Baker?
She just goes on runs and throws the same shot after shot after shot, and if she does have a quick lapse, and she jumps right back into the huge shots when she needs to.
And certainly, somebody you want to emulate as as any bowler, not just female, but Jen Baker, power, little bit of aggression, a little bit of finger action, but at least a little enough weight to it that can push through onto the strikes.
Yeah,
And so if you're learning, that's one thing. And I know, Katie, you struggle with that, is throwing it hard enough and heavy enough
yeah.
that will push through, especially these new pin bases.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Jennifer is just always very even-tempered. You know, she definitely likes her good shots, but she's not one to get super pumped up and fiery, and just that consistency in her pre-shot routine and in her heart rate and everything is a huge benefit for her.
You know, I'm thinking this is, certainly a very motivated individual in Jen Baker wanting to make back to a nationals as a singles. Hasn't for a year here. Feels like it's been a mile. I don't know when the last time it has been, Jen Baker, sorry, but I know that you're certainly very motivated, as are all of you, but she's a name out there. Newfoundland has played at a gold medal out there. She's very well known across the country. So.
Yeah, and Jen played at Edmonton. She played in Newfoundland. She's in Central now, so some changes with her teams. And she's always been a singles player, but she's also very good on the teams. And the changing in the zones, it's been different for her, coming from different zones and changing. But she's just always such a huge competitor and such a great teammate. Anybody would be happy to play with her.
And makes that team a whole lot better, too,
Absolutely.
for sure, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you can get a top-ranked female on your team, that's a pretty good thing.
The scoring system has given Curtis a foul here. Looks like the judge play is down there. I'm not sure if they're changing that.
Ooh, that's almost a penalty stroke as it is by missing a corner pin spare against Tyler Titkat there.
And it doesn't look like they are changing it, so I'm not sure.
Maybe until after the frame is done.
Maybe. It's
Okay, Baker with the right corner there. So she's potential 158 into 5. Couple of good balls.
Yeah, it's a big spare for Jennifer Baker here.
Those corner spares, I mean, that's a spare percentage. If you're looking to be at the top of your game, you want to be shooting at 90% spares.
Absolutely.
92, 93%. Yes, that's 1 out of every 10 that you can miss. Once you start missing 3, 4 in a game or over a time, that's not going to get you there.
Yeah, they're very costly.
Those counts are so big.
Yeah, so it does look like they've taken that foul off of Curtis's score now. The ball sort of hits the foul line when he throws. It doesn't have a huge loft on it, so it could have just been the ball coming out of his hand.
And there we saw Jen Layden getting the strike, so she's on the board with the strike. And hey, a couple of them together here mounts a comeback for sure.
Yeah, absolutely puts her back into it. Jennifer's another one of those ladies that's very consistent in her temperament. Same thing, doesn't get fired up, doesn't get down on herself, just very consistently strong. And
always in the mix, isn't she?
Yeah,
like Jen Layden is always in the mix, and one of the more decorated bowlers out of Calgary, but almost in a way, if you will, underrated because she's not as flashy as that, right? She's, but she's always on teams and making it to finals and making it to Stepladder. So kudos to her for getting there.
Yeah.
Puts a double there, a little bit of pressure.
Jen Baker throws one right back.
Jen Baker gets her 158 in 5, but we've got 141 in 5. 131 in 5 potentially for Jen Layden.
Tyler opens a very
chopped cherry for Tyler.
Unusual open for Tyler.
So that's 169 in 6. Curtis throws a strike now in 7. He's got to 159 in 6, but of course then working on the strike. So
yeah, potentially
half a ballish. Just off to your lane, to your left there, when we were watching the men, the ladies are playing 5 lanes down, so you can see what might be happening. But
looks like a corner there. Yeah. Corner for Tyler.
It was corner for Jen Baker, right? Because she had the action.
Well, another solid shot from Jen. Spare from Tyler as well.
Back and forth. Couple of good matches here. Curtis, I think, will take a minute. So let's go through the ladies. Let's just get Jen Layden's up. It'll be quicker, I think. Trying to get you to watch every shot if we can. We're making our way there now in the end.
Yeah, the pace is similar between these two matches now.
Won't Jen Layden made a liar out of me. She
Yeah,
throws
so
a
a
head
head pin
pin.
there for Jen.
Curtis got a strike. Sorry, y'all, for missing Curtis, as I thought Curtis was going to take a little bit of time there. Sometimes, even if they are 6 lanes apart, there's a little bit of lane courtesy going on because you're in a tight
absolutely.
match. You're kind of looking off to your left. You know what's happening. You know who's got the right of way. I mean, this is high pressure. These players are playing for national championship on the line here.
Yeah, and with only one set in between, you definitely see more without players in between, right? You notice things that are happening 4, 6 lanes away rather than just what's right next to you. Another 7 count there for Curtis.
You can get all the sticks this time, and
Yeah. Jennifer cleans up all of her pins on her head pin.
so Jen Layden's got 161 and 7. She's got max 296 with 5 strikes here if she bangs out. Jen Baker has that well covered. Should she need to have to bang out. Okay, so left corner, so that's going to bring that
2.
top number down a little bit. Curtis got the 5. Curtis gets the 201 in 8, so he's max 291. Tyler's 184 here in 7 minimum, with a ball in hand, obviously, in 8. So
He's over 300.
a little bit of bonus points here should
This is
Tyler.
a big shot for Tyler here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll watch Ty.
Very good shot for Tyler. He's getting
That was a
fired up
bomber.
there.
Yeah, that was a bomb for
He
Tyler.
wanted that one. A 5 side here for Jennifer Baker.
Okay,
Makes
so
it a little tight.
199 and 7, so he's well up now in 8 on Curtis. Looking for a whole lot of gainers. Jen Baker throws the head pin in the second,
close,
so
yeah.
223. So it could tighten up a little bit. Jen Layden needs to come back and throw a couple and put some pressure. Right corner for Ty, so 229 and 8, 259. Your 304 max for Tyler.
Yeah, to 291 for Curtis Max.
Curtis is going to have the opportunity to finish first here too, remember? So
Yeah.
he's got the opportunity to absolutely put the pressure on.
Yep.
And Tyler will be up there looking at a score that he needs to go get.
Tyler is very used to being in that situation too, knowing what he needs to throw going up.
Definitely in the
Throwing,
driver's seat, but
yeah.
there's got to be some, you got to put some pressure on there. But you're right, he's used to those situations and knowing what he needs. It's nice to be able to look up and to say, okay, well, dun, 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 dun.
It's a big shot for Curtis.
Give it a chance.
Fist
Gets
pump.
yeah, fist pump at the line there.
Yeah,
You can do that. You can let a little release out because then you got to go and
Reset.
reset, take your time and breathe.
Okay, big spare for Jennifer.
Big spare
there.
for Baker, so that gives her to a max 295 now. Jen Layden's going to be first to finish here in 9-10, and she's got max 281.
A head pin there for Curtis.
Could spell the end, unfortunately,
Yeah.
for Mr. Curtis Deering, but
Great run.
quality foe in Tyler Titgat that's to lose to there. So,
Yep.
all right, to the
A
ladies.
split there for Jen Lawden.
It's the Jen Laden split there, so she's got to 199 potentially here, max 244. So I'm thinking both of these matches, friends, are going to be done. We're going to be into the finals and seeing our potential champion is going to be crowned. So kind of fitting that we've got Tyler Titgat going to end up playing Derek Holm. They're only 2 points out in the 10 games. And then you've got Jen Baker from in the 5th spot, going to work her way all the way up to play Christine Pozza. Derek Holm was in this position last year. He was the #1 qualifying last year. Remember him bowling out of Bonnie Doon and absolutely blew the 10-game qualifying away.
Yeah.
Might have averaged 310, I'm thinking. But Adam Weber came and conquered him by 2 games in that final.
Yeah, and those two been playing each other match after match all their lives. So.
Oh, and Tyler throws a 3-pin in 10. Way to go!
Just cause.
Yeah, but he's going to get over the 250, up to the 260 mark.
Yeah, that pressure is off. You know, you've made it.
Yeah.
That shot's a lot different than the ones previous, and you know it's been a very tough mental day for Tyler. And it's been a lot of mental work, and he has been pushing all day and throwing well. So 260 finish for Tyler there. 214 finish for Jen Laden. Just some tough breaks at the end of her match there.
We'll go one stream at a time now. So we'll go the men's final, maybe the ladies' final first, and then the men's final. I'm not sure the order of events, but we're not going to be flipping back and forth between both streams. It'll be one at a time here.
Yeah, and the matches are being played separately now at the house here, so we can see the whole thing.
And a nice solid 270 here for Jen Baker as she works her way into the finals. So we'll have the ladies playing first, then we'll have the men's playing after. The ladies only play, well, it's a 1 game, but if Jen Baker wins the first game, they play a 2nd game. So this is where Christine Pozza gets the double life. And then on the men's side, Derek Holm gets the double life, where he'll have to beat him twice. So we'll put you on mute, and we'll be back in a couple of secs here, folks. Stay tuned.
Okay, so this match here, Tyler wins 260 to Curtis's 238. For the ladies, Jen Baker with a 275 to Jennifer Lake's 214. The ladies finals will be the first ones, and we will be moving over to lane 13 and 14. And I'm sure most of you know the rules. The person in first place only wants to win 1 match. Her opponent must beat first place by 2 for 2 games. Okay, judge of plays whenever you're ready.
And back we are, friends. Here we are into the ladies' final. 2023 Alberta Open Singles Stepladder. They've played 10 games qualifying. They've played a bunch of stepladder matches, and now we're coming down to the final. Christine Pozza versus Jennifer Baker.
Yeah, Jennifer has been in this situation a few times. She's represented Alberta as a single previously. This would be the first time for Christine, I believe, as a single for the Open.
I do believe, yeah. But I do believe Christine made the Masters this year as well, and working very hard in her game and getting better. And of course, comes from a quality family of bowlers. And Christine's, accomplished in Calgary and has made some teams and made it maybe again on that underrated side of things. I mean, there's so many quality bowlers in Alberta over the years that it's tough to sort of get an edge on anybody. But Christine's a quality player, and her dad, Herfy, going to be in the pit, I'm assuming, down there with him,
Yeah,
with her.
I would
And
expect so.
yeah.
And these two ladies basically grown up competing against each other through youth and into their adult tournaments. Played together on teams. For Masters, I believe they'll be playing together.
That's right, because Jenna Lamoureux is going to be the singles.
Yeah.
Thanks to all for tuning in, watching, hanging out with us. We didn't do the commentary all through the 10-game qualifying, but here we are on the Stepladder putting on a little show for y'all. So Daryl Bradley, Katie Hicks alongside here to get you through to the final. Hope you're enjoying. If you haven't already subscribed to the 5-Pin Universe YouTube channel, that'd be great. Please do subscribe. If you can tell one friend that while you're at it, have them subscribe, that'd be even better. Katie, can you subscribe, please?
I will. I should. I need to. I watch them.
You don't subscribe?
I don't think I do.
So there's Jen Baker. So she plays 1 frame. Christine now will play 2 frames, and then they'll trade back and forth 2 frames, 2 frames, 2 frames until the very end, where Jen Baker will have the last ball in the 10th frame to be able to shoot. So
Yeah, so Christine has chosen to play her 10th frame first.
which probably as a maybe less experienced
Yep.
bowler in this position is probably more common and the way to go. You want to put the pressure on the other bowler, and if Jen comes back and has to shoot them in the end and does, then so be it. But at least
Yep.
you put the pressure on. So
And there's
but Christine Pozza, let's look at her scores throughout the day. We had a 260 average. You had a 346, 291, 194, 277, 260, 246, 265, 240, 209, and a 278. Pretty consistent there for Christine.
Yeah, and throwing a decent game to finish when other people are chasing her. It was very close. Less than 15 pins difference between first and second. So good game for her to finish.
Absolutely. So she could have, even if she threw a 240 her last game, she would have been in
Would have
4th
dropped
spot.
her. Yeah.
So she hung with everybody throughout 270. And we were watching along, everybody, and it was like down to the last couple of frames
Yep.
where Christine, even Jenna, even Julie, not Julie, but Jennifer Layden, all threw a couple of big strikes at the end there to get to this point and secure that first place finish. It's so critical.
Yep. Big spares there for Christine.
Christine in the qualifying starts off with a 346, 291. That's sure nice to start with a 637
Yeah, absolutely.
double, right?
Yep. Put
Oh.
yourself in a good spot. Run from there. Take some pressure off yourself at the end and just know you can throw slightly better than average or average and be okay.
Yep.
Not needing any huge games going into the last few. Cherry there for Jennifer to open the second frame. She'll be looking to find her good shot here in this one and get going.
A couple of solid spares, though. Christine.
Yeah.
A couple of corner pin spares by Christine, right?
Oh, one for Jen there. Yeah, and they are throwing on a new set here, so potentially just a bit different pinfall depending on the lanes, but also, that slight break in between changes your adrenaline and your mental game, and you kind of come down from firing when you need to and back to the grind, and both of these ladies will be making big spares, throwing good shots going forward.
Certainly not wasting a lot of time, which I respect and like.
Yeah.
As a bowler, I probably think that I would be just dragging it along and just wait. But then I think about some of the matches that I might have played. You know what? No, when it's your turn, you want to get up and you want to get going too.
Yeah, and you don't want to overthink things
You don't.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
There's, everybody sort of has their own pace that they're comfortable with, and you don't want to change that.
A little loose on that one. Got away from her, Christine.
And she has been sitting for quite a while watching the rest of the stepladder, so it does take a bit to get
Yeah.
into it, and that's the advantage of the two 2-game match here, potentially.
Obviously, there's practice lanes, and she could be warming up and staying
Yeah.
ready to go. But there is certainly, you're not in a meaningful throwing balls until all of a sudden, hey, I got to play a match here now.
Yeah.
But got a guy in Harvey Poza right there behind her. He's been in this situation certainly many times.
Coached it as well.
Talking her through it, and can sense the breathing and sense the energy and stuff that would want to just, keep it calm, keep it cool. Pretty nervous and proud moment for
for a
dad,
father.
Dad to be in there watching and coaching and part of this for sure.
Oh, and a tough punch there for Christine.
Why'd I have to bring up a proud father moment
Yeah.
right on that one? Sorry, Harvey. Funny that a parent being proud of their kids, hey?
Yeah, so this definitely makes things interesting. Neither lady has really taken off with it yet so far.
Certainly going to be an interesting, team event now as we head in. Edmonton last year, ladies won, men won, Calgary mixed. So there's some, certainly some titles to play for and some revenge to maybe go get for some who didn't win last year. But the parity out there in the province now is a lot tighter than it ever used to be. Unfortunately, there was probably some weaker zones, if you will, but now there's it's so much more even all throughout.
Yeah, and then some young players coming up and making a difference in some of these zones, and a few of the veterans, that would normally be guaranteed spots are having to push for them or having to, are not playing anymore. Some change of the guard a little bit, it seems, in the last 4 or 5 years. It's great to see the youth still playing competitively and the next generation kind of coming through with the dominant players that we have in their 20s and making a splash.
And not seeing that trend going to change at all either.
No.
There's, some really good tournament circuits around and other zones and maybe some programs that maybe aren't as strong as others. But as a whole, there's a lot of young kids that are coming up and playing, and I see a whole group of them that, just stick with it. Keep playing, keep shooting. Your strength, your wisdom, your maturity, your experience will only continue to get better as you play. And you'll be in the mix of playing with these open tournaments. Some of these guys have been around for a little while and maybe starting to decline, or they want to hang on. But go and get it and keep playing.
And I think there's just a lot of mentorship in this tournament. You've got the young people coming up playing with the veterans, being in these situations, where their teammates are also helping them through situations that they potentially haven't been through before.
And you need to listen, right?
Yeah.
Like as a new person or a rookie or somebody, listen to your veterans. Listen to the people before. Ask them questions. What does it feel like? What did you do in this situation? I mean, there's so much wisdom out there, and people are willing to share. Just ask questions.
Yeah, and that's an amazing thing about our sport. It's the multi-generational, motivation and knowledge sharing and pushing each other to be better. The young people push the veterans, and the veterans push the younger people to be better and support each other and cheer for each other and coach each other. And it's really great to see that the competitive side of bowling in Alberta is still strong and has a great future.
I think something that, people are accepting of, this is what I'm going to do for the next X years, whether it's 25 years, whether it's 2 years, whether it's 20, whatever the number is. This is what I love to do. I love to play in tournaments. I want to be in it, and I'm going to be here for another 10 years. But so are all these people that are here. So you might as well be friends. You might as well get along with them. You might as well have conversations with them. You don't hold any ill will. Sure, there's competitiveness and being, you want to beat them. But at the same time, I mean, this is what we're going to be doing. People from other zones, we're here. Like there's some guys here that are 75 years old that have been doing this for 50 years.
Yeah.
I look at a legend out there right now I can see is Don Sim. What a wide, vast array of knowledge and, history that he's been able to accomplish. But, man, that's 50 years ago that he started this.
And he still loves the game.
Yeah.
He still loves to be around the competition and to show up and to help push people. And, you know, just chatting with these legends, sometimes you get a peek into their mind and what was happening back in their day, and,
Yeah.
you know, the stories. And it's really, really inspiring as somebody coming into this competitive adult world to have these people still around and still involved. And
Yeah, so accept that these are my competitors and these are the people I'm going to see at a lot of these events. All right, I can live with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I like these people. I like this sport.
And you can be the toughest of competitors and the best of friends and push each other to be better just because of the competitiveness between each other.
Okay, looking for a little bit of life here in the match. Christine's got 90 and 5 with a spare and 6, so that gets her to 120. She's got a max 300. Now we're talking early here on this, but Jen Baker 71 and 4, but now got a double, so she goes 116, max 341. So second half charge for both of them. See if we can get a quality match, and I'm obviously expecting it to come down to the end.
Yeah, and really getting into the nitty-gritty of the match here. Both these ladies know that these shots are big at this point, and very close match really after 5.
See, and there's an
now.
opportunity. Jen Baker, she throws 3 there, throws the turkey. Maybe a little separation, and maybe it starts to make Christine think, well, there's already one more game that I can play.
Yeah.
But now with a punch there, the immediate energy's got to change. Okay, go get.
Yeah.
I can do this.
She's definitely.
Right. Get up there now. Go throw her 2 strikes. So she's then the first one to act in 8.
Yeah, and put a lot of pressure back on Jen, who needs to throw to catch up.
Big time.
Yeah.
Not always going to have 335s to 332s, everybody out there, but tense moments nonetheless, and every ball counts. I like them smiling as they're coming off. Nobody's like, there was a generation and there was a time frame in my world that I, experienced a little bit of anger.
Yeah.
Other bowlers out there, right? Like, you wouldn't be coming off smiling like these two are doing here. You'd be coming off throwing a temper tantrum, or maybe the knuckles are sore, or whatever reason. But it's good to see that the sportsmanship in the game is very at a very high level here.
And both of these ladies are incredible people on and off the lane, and really, really good representation of our sport.
So 118 there and 6 for Christine. She can get to 148 now, max 283, which is just above. No, Jen Baker, she can get to 285.
Very close, yeah.
Christine's got to be thinking, let's get this job done. Get it done.
Over
Don't go into one more match against Jen Baker. Just fierce.
Yeah, and we go back to the point where every ball is so important. And Christine will definitely be looking to fire back and reset on her next shot here. Some encouraging words from Harvey.
Yep. A little bit of relax, a little bit of go through your process. It's just,
do what you do.
Throw a shot. Throw shots. Don't worry about strikes. Throw shots. If you do everything else, the results will take care of itself.
Yeah, and there's a great shot back. And again, the momentum swings back and forth, frame by frame. Yeah. It's what you want to see. These are great matches as viewers and as.
So 131 gets her to 266 max. Jen Baker will go in 8 and 9, and then Christine will go and finish.
Plow for Jen.
Oh boy, so that plow and Jen.
Gets closer.
That strike by Christine in 8 is monster.
Yep. 255 max for Jennifer now.
She'll be first to throw in 9.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for Jen Baker. She just throw the shot,
Yeah.
take a breath, and execute.
Little more power behind that shot than the last one.
Right line for her there. Okay,
Yeah.
so now Christine is the first one to finish. Has an opportunity to shut it out too. Certainly an opportunity to apply a bunch of pressure onto Jen to force her to do something in 10. And that's really what you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these are a big couple of
Throw,
shots for Christine.
yeah, throw enough that Jen has to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, she gets the
And she
first
gets
one.
it. That's a huge strike, friends.
Yeah. Yeah, and now she's looking to force Jen to throw marks.
Yeah, throw strikes. At least
Yeah.
the first strike forces Jen to throw the first strike.
Yep, yep.
Anything more forces Jen to have to start throwing doubles.
Right.
At 266 to 253 max. So it'll be a double chop if she bangs out.
If she bangs it. Yeah. And that looks good.
Ooh.
Finds the corner.
I didn't think that was a little thin
Yeah,
on
wow.
that one. Wow, okay. So 204, 234, which still puts the pressure on Jen to have to throw the first strike.
One.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was a big count in,
It is.
counting back to 8 with that one and then in double counting.
Yeah, so you're 202 plus 13, you're 215 right now. You need this,
This
and
is a big
then
spare.
you need
Yeah.
this, and then a side.
And
Missed
she
it.
misses the spare.
Missed it. It's a big miss there,
So that puts her 217 max.
which means Jen can now get the 60 count, so
and
the
be
spare.
okay with 2 marks. Yeah.
The 58 count ties. No, it doesn't. 58 still gets the 221. Or 2, yeah.
So 217.
So
finish.
spare chop.
Yeah. Jen throws the first one. That puts her.
Not wasting
Not-
any
yeah.
time, is it? She's
Yeah,
up
nope.
and at it.
She throws
Got
it
the
long.
first one. Jen Baker. Whew.
With a fist pump.
Clutch shot there, Jen
Yeah.
Baker. We're going to be going to the second match for the ladies' final. Christine's going to be using her double life.
Yep.
Better text the bus driver. We're going to
yeah,
be
we're
late.
gonna be late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another great shot from Jen there.
Got it.
And Jen's looking here to keep this momentum going in her favor. You know, she's throwing great shots. She wants to carry that through to the next match and have a bit of a stronger start than the last game. All right, so final scores 243 to 217. They'll just get right back into their next match here, I would expect.
Yeah, so that'll be now Christine will probably throw the first ball. 'Cause Jen threw the first ball. Wouldn't be opposed if somebody went and bought us a drink there, Katie. Hey?
Yeah. Everyone's busy watching.
Everybody's busy watching. Maybe somebody's watching with their headphones out there in
Maybe.
the bowling alley. If
Yeah.
you're watching in
Some
the
live
bowling alley,
commentary.
your commentary team would use a beverage.
All right, so it looks like Christine's just going to get up.
Somebody's listening out there and they want to buy us a beverage. Send a text to somebody who might be watching from here and saying, your commentary team needs a beverage. We, unfortunately, as we're commentary, we cannot see your posts. We just have the one computer set up for the tech, and that's where we're watching the stream and we're commentating the stream. So apologies if you're not being interactive to you, talking and saying comments on there. We cannot see those.
Yeah, and Christine comes out with a great shot. She's looking to jump ahead as soon as she can here.
Bus driver is notified.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Jennifer fires one right back.
Yeah, maybe the nerves out of the first game are done. I mean, it really was a slower start for both of them and kind of caught a bit more second half, but I'm expecting a little bit of a higher scoring in this match. Let's see what happens. Very common that there's a second game.
Yeah, more often than not, for sure.
And for that reason, because somebody's warmed up.
Yeah.
You know.
And running, right? They're running up the ladder sometimes, and they've got momentum.
So what's this match? Game number 16 for Jen Baker today? This would be 15 maybe. So 5 versus 4 is 1. 4 versus 3 is 2. 3 versus 2 is 3. 2 versus 1 is 4. So this is her fifth.
Fifth
so
after
15,
the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 games.
Did you all follow along on that math that we did there? Yeah.
You know, and both of these ladies are used to being in those long days. Jennifer has played a lot of the cash tournaments, the WCBT tour. You know, Christine is also very capable of throwing this many games and throwing the same fire she did all day.
Yeah, I think at fairness, well, I see somebody calling me, but I'm not sure if you're watching. I can't answer the phone while you're calling me. So if you're watching the stream, bud, I can't, you know, unless you're looking to come on live.
Patch him in. Another great shot for Christine there. Take an early lead in the second frame. And at this point, you know, any opportunity you get to gain pins is huge. You know, even if it's a strike compared to a spare, that's a big leap in momentum to jump ahead like Christine just did with that last shot.
The energy in the building kind of has increased as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, most of the teams are here watching, cheering on their friends and fellow competitors, teammates, coaches are here watching. I think almost everyone has arrived for the team tournament now.
Yeah, there's probably a couple that would just be coming in on a Wednesday.
Handful of people still to come, but
it's a long week, you know.
Yeah.
And people have to take off work and arrange families and thanks to all those extended network out there that are
helping support those that are here. Absolutely. Yeah, it takes a village with, you know, people with families and work, giving time off and being understanding that this is important to people. And
I know my wife and kids are watching. They're glued to the TV right now watching this. So hi, honey. Hi, kids. How are you doing? How was school today?
Yeah, life back home. Yeah. Yeah, and I think as we get through the tournament, closer to the weekend, lots of families come down to support their loved ones, and the bowling alley will be fuller Friday, Saturday, I would imagine, with kids off of school. And
Fuller?
Yeah.
Fuller a word?
Fuller?
Or more
Be
full?
fuller? Yeah.
Fuller
It'll
or
be
more
more
full?
crowded.
Yeah, fuller house.
Fuller house?
Yeah, it'll be a fuller house. Yeah. Jen Baker seems to have found a bit of a rhythm here and throwing bombs, hasn't she?
Yeah, and Christine too, honestly. Like, both of these ladies are just in the groove.
Seems like it's in the right spot, aggressive, hard shot. And again, you can see why we say, like, if you want to emulate somebody, Jen Baker is one of those ones you want to be shooting like, for sure.
Yeah, and, you know, showing a bit of emotion, which is great to see. She's a very fiery competitor.
But equal to the task here is Christine Poza, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a great game. Another
Not-
great shot.
Not as big of a backswing
Yeah.
by Christine, but certainly comes through with enough power and enough force to it that the ball's going to be carrying
Yeah.
in the right spot. I think that's a good thing, personally, from not a big backswing. I think that cuts down a lot of variables and potential errors when you start coming through on different angles and different shots, that if you can minimize the different things,
Yeah.
that's one of them.
And very natural shots. You know, there's nothing
Ooh, we have a drink. We have somebody asking for drinks.
Christine is very compact
him.
in her approach, and you know,
Thanks, Scott Hoka. I'm thinking maybe Alicia Mortensen maybe is watching. Thinking. Vodka soda. Everybody heard that. You know our drinks now. Yeah, Katie likes white rum and Sprite. DB likes vodka soda. I think we're allowed to advertise that while we're
Yeah, absolutely.
live
We're
streaming.
not bullying, yeah.
We're not getting paid for this, are we? That we're on
No.
the job.
oh, good push for Jen there. Just
That only took how long? Well, 4.5
Yeah, not bad,
minutes.
not
Hey,
bad.
thanks everybody.
great
Somebody's listening.
spectators.
Yeah. Thanks everybody listening.
Extended support system.
Look at that start by Christine. Double
Wow.
miss, spare, double. Jen Baker strikes, spare, double, corner. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very little room for error at this point. Great shot by
On
Jen.
it.
Yeah.
So 133, she gets to 163, and then we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we're
Yeah.
into that 380 plus range. And then Christine still maxing out over 400.
Another corner. Oh, it goes. Yeah.
I think that's
Count
down.
it,
We're
count
not the
it.
judge of play out there, but I certainly think it had some love to it on the sides back there, that it's down.
Yeah, and the judge is right there watching.
It was still in the motion and still things
Yeah.
happening and still going. It was just one of those, took a little time to come down. It's not a holy roller strike, but it's, I mean, it's a. Hey, we may not want to say.
Right,
make
they're
too
the
much
ones
fun.
buying us drinks.
They're the one buying us drink. Or maybe they're just listening to us out there while they're watching bowling, because they're much more interested in hearing what we have to say than their neighbor next to them standing there
Yeah.
watching it live. Maybe it's like when you're at a Oiler game or you're at
Yeah,
a
it's
professional
weird
sports game.
without the commentating.
People put their headsets in
Are
and
we
they
there
listen to
yet
it.
with bowling?
Football, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Football, like NFL.
Yeah.
You know, people in the stands and you're listening to the headset, the commentators. You know, the Joe Bucks and the.
Yeah.
Like, we're there, right? Troy Aikman's. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
bowling's there. Yeah, love it. A big spare for Christine. And it goes a
The
little back and forth
yeah,
with those.
trading shots.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's go. Good match, ladies.
So we've got 160 and a spare in sixth for Christine, 163 and a strike for Jennifer. So she's got a slight edge right now.
370 match, max 380, 398 for Jen Baker. Ooh, she
Oh,
walked that one out too.
yeah.
Ooh, that was a good shot. I like seeing that, right? That, you know, the run back.
Yep.
That means you're feeling good
Think
about
it has a chance. Yep. It's a big spare here for Christine as well.
Yes.
Thank
Our
you.
drinks. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, God.
Was that Alicia?
Yeah.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you, Leisha.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right. That was a big shot for Christine there as well.
Absolutely. Great match to watch. Hope you're all enjoying this. Are you not entertained?
You know, this is what we hope to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we expect these crazy close matches going into the end here.
Baker with the bomb. So she's still shooting
And
that
just-
398 max.
Throwing incredible shots.
218, 353 max for Christine. but Baker keeps throwing strikes. It's going to be tough. Let's go.
Another good shot.
And another
Yeah.
one there. She liked it. I'm not sure if she. I don't. Not
She doesn't
sure,
show it,
Yeah,
but-
I'm not sure if she was as sure about it, but you certainly liked it.
Yeah.
All right, Christine, your turn now. Go get him.
Yeah, so Christine really trying to keep the pressure on here and just throwing great shots over and over again. Oh, and a head pin here.
Oh, and a punch in 8, Christine.
That's tough. It's really tough. Let's see.
208, 223 here, full cleanup, 313. It's not over though,
It's not.
right?
It's definitely not over. Yeah,
Yeah.
she just needs to make this shot to clean up her sticks and get right back at it to put some pressure back on.
You know, maybe not being right there, but it looked like it was a good shot. It just maybe, right in the middle sort of thing. I mean, she's had a couple of thicker ones, but
Yeah.
you seem to get some good finger action spin off. But
It almost seemed like she knew out of her hand that it was going to be tight.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are, and you kind of hope for a little
Right.
spin out. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's kind of just.
There's not a lot of movement on the ball at this house, it seems.
We're seeing a little bit of the, not grooves, but little burn marks as you're running
Yeah.
down the lane through the oil that we feel, generally speaking, people talking here, it's going to dry up quite a bit over the weekend, which means that ball will start to move a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
So guys, whether they're playing different lines or adjusting slightly, but hey,
Yeah.
there's a big strike
Great
for
shot.
Christine.
Yeah.
And she's the first one to finish here. So depending on what Jen Baker does, Christine could have an opportunity here still coming down to the end. Jen Baker's going to finish, though, and want to shut everything out. So 311 max there
Yeah.
for Christine.
And she can shut out here.
Yeah.
This is a
Once-
big shot here, too.
Yeah. So if you throw a strike here, it's
All but
yeah,
official.
especially the ninth.
Yeah. There it is.
There it is.
That's a great shot.
Go and finish it off, Jen Baker. Let's see this 388.
So max Christine 311.
Classy finish, both of these ladies. Way to fight.
Yeah.
Deserving champions.
And Jen's got that already. So
Yeah, so you're
it's a shutout.
45 there. Yeah.
After this one, officially.
Oh, so you're, yeah.
Yeah, that's 10 worse.
Well, it's 38, so it's 88. 88 plus 20 is 08 plus 13, so it's over.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jen Baker. Going to have a bit of
Amazing.
an emotional release here.
Yeah.
Cool to watch.
Great for her.
Yeah,
You know, coming from
yeah.
the 5th spot after qualifying, running the entire ladder, having to beat Christine twice.
It takes a lot to win in this game, and that's a skill that Jen Baker has certainly learned.
Yep.
To learn how to win. And
Yep. And great effort by Christine. You know,
Yeah.
she was throwing
all day.
where
yeah,
she
you're right in the
needed to
mix.
be both of these last 2 games. And wow.
Pretty cool for Tim
Yeah.
Wiseman. I mean, Len Madaresh there.
Yeah.
Good for Jen. A little bit of congratulatory handshakes there. Christine will still go up and finish, put a
Yeah.
number on the board. It'd be cool to see a 328 to 311 final here
Yeah.
as we get
Big
geared
hug
up
from,
and ready for them.
from
Yeah.
Harvey for Jennifer. He's coached her before as well, so there's a shot, Christine. Yep.
Masters this year, Jen Baker singles. Does that mean she's double singles now? That's what I'm
to
getting
look.
a
I
message
think
as.
so,
saying,
yep.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yep.
Double singles, Masters, and Open. That is a
Crazy accomplishment
Yeah.
out of Alberta, especially. Yeah.
But when you see that it's Jen Baker, it's really all that surprising.
Yeah, no.
Like,
No, that's great.
great player. Great to see her back at the top of the game. And again, somebody who's going to be around in the mix for a long time to come. Good for
Yeah.
Christine.
Yeah, Christine absolutely made her work for it and put the pressure on and, threw a lot of great shots today. And Christine will be back in this position, right? Like, she's
Yeah,
such a
so
solid
well
shooter.
done. Tough one there,
Yeah.
I'm sure, for her to take, but what a way to finish. 3-11.
Yeah, great game.
Very proud, both of them. All right, friends, we'll take a little mute, and we'll back with you in a few minutes as we gear up their men's. Jennifer Baker, your ladies singles champion coming out of Alberta.
Okay, ladies, congratulations to Jennifer Baker. Congratulations. We will now switch the men over, and it will be Tyler Tikat bowling Derek Home, and when you guys are ready, let's get her going. Dirty Crazy, when you're ready.
And we are back. Here we are with the men's division, men's singles, 2023 Alberta Open Stepladder. Into your final, we've had Tyler Titkat won his recent match there against Curtis Deering, and now he's facing the #1 qualifier who has a double life here in Derek Holmes. Double life meaning that Derek can lose the first game and still have the opportunity to advance to nationals. So Tyler will have to beat Derek twice in order to advance, which is what happened last year. So it can happen. It's what just happened in the ladies division, so it can happen.
Yeah, and if Derek wins the first one, then it's over. He just has to play the one match.
That's right. And Derek's, he's certainly been in this position many times playing the single step ladder. He's won. He's gone to nationals. And he didn't win there last year, but he's been in this before. Tyler, quality shooter, and you know that he is very driven here. I know last year did not successfully make it into the step ladder.
Right. Yeah.
National championship here in Edmonton coming up, so to have the home court advantage. That's where he bowled most of his YBC.
Yep.
Was out Bonnie Doon.
I think all of his YBC.
Plays next gen in the pro league out of Bonnie Doon. Big feather in his cap if he can advance the nationals here at Bonnie Doon. But
yeah, and Derek's also super familiar with that house.
Yep.
He's won the green and gold out of that house.
And Derek Holm just throws bombs. He's one of the harder throwers, but smooth, consistent. Loves the game, fierce competitor.
And his shot works well at this house, right?
Makes cut after cut after cut. I mean, he's always in the mix. And like I said, you just watch him. He just throws absolute heaters.
And every ball is extremely consistent for him. He doesn't change a lot. He doesn't move a lot. Just very deep in his approach. Gets a corner pin there. Just waiting for his ball to come back.
Must have been from the first one he threw the strike.
Yep.
Most of these guys usually have 2 bowling balls, but there's a time that they'll certainly, if they're running on strikes, they'll wait for that first ball to come back. Ball returns are pretty quick, so it's not like it's taking an overextended time or like you're on the pitch clock here. That Manny Machado is going to get kicked out for being on the pitch clock and taking his time.
Yeah, and both of these players throw fairly quickly under this pressure pressure
Yeah.
situation. There's not a lot of leg time in between their frames.
Let's look at Derek Holmes' score. So he averaged 289. So he had 268, 298, 280, 273, 310, 270, 314, 348, 231, and a 298.
Yeah, so with the exception of 2 games, everything between that 270 and one outlier
Yeah.
on the high end, but between 270 and 310, majority of his games.
A 231 in there and a 348.
Yeah.
You're right. That's consistent.
Yeah,
Huge bowling.
a punch there for Tyler. Yeah, watching the last few frames between these two in qualifying was equally as intense. Coming down to the very last ball, you know, they were tied going into that last game, exactly tied going in, playing on the same lanes as each other.
And tied going into the 10th frame. Katie.
Tied after 8, I think, right?
Yep.
After 8, they were tied.
Both spared in 9. I think they both spared in 9. Derek Holm went first in 10 because they were playing on the same set.
Yep.
Derek Holm banged out,
Banged out.
in 10, so Tyler had to match him.
Yeah.
Rose the first 2 bombs, and the third one.
Gets roasted on the last one. Yeah, and Tyler absolutely wanted it. You could see his disappointment in that, just because the 2-game knockout in the first position is such a big benefit.
It is.
You know, not saying that he can't come back and win both matches, but to have to do it twice against Derek Holm, that's, you know, a tough feat for anybody. Hard enough to do it once, let alone twice.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Both Derek and Coach have the same haircut.
Yeah, yeah.
Some strategy there.
Yeah, you can't tell which one's which throwing there, but Jeff Wilson back up there with Derek Holm. I've had the pleasure of being with Derek Holm a couple times in the pit. One time we won together,
Yep.
you know, as his support system as a coach for him. And even last year I was in the pit with him there as he lost to Adam Weber twice. Technically not quite in the pit because I'm not one that has my full competitive coaching clinic done. There's a couple online courses that I need to finish off and complete. So should I have been in the pit, I would have been having to be standoff by 10 feet. So nice for him to change it up and to have Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, and
you know.
Jeff coaching
Oh yeah, like
consistently out of Calgary. He's coaching Masters.
he sees him, he knows his games. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, for somebody like me to be in the pit, we'd be talking about what type of, you know, what's
Baseball.
your favorite
Yeah.
baseball or what's your fast food. And sometimes that's what you need from a guy in the pit, but it's also nice to have a guy that can talk to you about bowling and to say, hey, you know, time to, you know, make sure you do this or whatever, right? Like it's not all just about the fun. It's a little bit of bowling, so.
Oh, good break there for Tyler. Not quite what he wanted, but definitely more than it looked like for a second.
And then there's Tyler's got his sister Des that's in the pit with him. And Des is coaching the ladies team out of Edmonton this year, but Des is a very accomplished coach, winning multiple youth challenges here with whichever team she's coaching in the last 10 years. Might even be on a ridiculous streak of winning gold medals there at youth challenge, but a very accomplished coach to be there with Tyler in the pit. So
Yeah, and you know, anytime the Titgat brothers, Bradley and Tyler, were throwing practice or throwing games or, you know, shooting for tournaments in youth, and after she's been there for all of it, you know, she's really pushed them through all of their competitive situations and definitely knows him the best out of anybody, I'm sure.
and a competitive, you know, skater in her own right, and
Yeah, very high-level coach.
and has trained and learned in the mental side and the mental prep and the, you know, all kinds of different things that a coach can bring to a player. Just getting them set here, ready to go before they go and execute, right? So.
Yeah, and it's interesting because both sports are very individual and very, you know, you're the one that makes or breaks your competition, right? And I'm sure lots of crossover between the mental preparedness and pre-routines and all of that between those two sports, which is interesting too.
Derek is just, those are like bombs.
Bombs.
Like, and he throws so fast
Yep,
that he knows immediately because it's pocket.
yep,
And he's so accurate that it's
Crazy accurate.
It's incredible to watch him bowl.
yeah. And he always has been.
Yep. The two of them, both of them, like extremely accurate, both up the middle shooters. Sure,
Very rarely miss.
they
either
have
of them.
very,
Yeah.
they have very, some finger action obviously on it and some spinning off of there, but it's not a massive 7-board comeback or,
No.
throwing from the right ditch. They're heat and fingers.
Yeah.
See, he knew.
He knew.
He knew.
Yeah, the
exactly.
second it was out of his
And
hand.
Derek's another one that doesn't have a huge.
Oh, and it turned into a chop off out of it, though.
Wow, full chop.
Yeah, I think so, unless. Yeah, because it
Yeah.
it came back before the shield started going. That's a big break.
For sure it is.
Changing that into a sparable shot. I mean, not that the 7 is not sparable for Derek,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the chop is definitely a.
See if he can take advantage of a nice little break
Yeah.
there, can't he?
Sometimes people put a little bit more pressure on themselves because of those breaks, saying, okay, now I need to take advantage of it. And it's interesting that it seems like a harder shot sometimes when you get that extra kick to go on one side and all of a sudden it's sparable when you didn't expect that.
You still have to, go through the process
Yeah.
and do your thing. Don't add any extra pressure than you need
Right.
to.
Oh, and there's a punch for
Both of them.
tie, turns into a 7.
Both of them, they knew it right away
Yeah.
too, right? Did they?
And he's not going to get the same chop out of that Derek had.
No, we had commented, Katie, when you were talking here, looking at the stats, and the top 5, 6 ladies, or from the ladies division, we had 2, 4, 6, 7 300s. The bottom half of the ladies, bottom 9 bowlers of the ladies didn't have any 300s.
Yeah.
Very telling, right? I mean, you need to. I mean, there's a 297 in there, but you need to buck up and throw a good one and sort of excel you up there. But
I think especially at this house for the ladies, because it was a bit, it was a bit harder to go on runs here, that those big matches really jumped people up, right? Or sorry, those big games.
we're on the men's side. Everybody had at least one. No, there's one person who didn't have a 300.
Yeah.
But there's multiple 300s. I mean, obviously, Derek Holm has 300s. Tyler had 2 plus the 1, 4. Miller had 3. Curtis Deering had 3.
Yeah.
Adam Weber only had 1. Thomas Tompkins had a 416 and a 3. Parker had 2. Dexter Wiseman had 3. Gary Baird had 1, right? Anthony
Yep.
Street had 3, right? So
Just speaks to the level of competition amongst the men here, right? And, it's amazing to see people go on runs and to watch it. And, you almost have to, on the men's side, to qualify. You have to be able to put strikes together and have those big games to push ahead. Yeah. The ladies' side as well, for sure. Just people were, some of the ladies that qualified just outside of the top were more consistent in their games and not the huge score, and then
when
the
there's
huge scores at the men.
there's Derek Holm with another punch in his 7th frame.
Yeah.
But he's got 195 in 7, so he's going to get to 210 in 7, still max 345. Tyler's got to 168 in 7, still max 303. So Derek's definitely in control and has the first frame to act here at 8. So.
And Tyler knows he needs to find a run here to catch up.
And Derek's not looking like he's going to start making a whole bunch of mistakes and missing a whole bunch.
No.
I mean, he's going to be hammering that middle and looking for the big splatter bomb strikes.
And with Derek's experience, he's been in this situation before. He's one of those people that will absolutely come back and throw bombs after a couple open frames. And he'll be looking to put the pressure on Tyler here and start shutting it out. And another plow.
Okay, so he's 225, max 315. Tightens the margin up a little bit. Tyler's still going to need a bunch of strikes.
Yeah, Tyler's going to need to go here.
So that's 3 punches in a row really for Derek, but
That's
got
right.
the bonus break in 6, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That separates some space. Tyler's going to need to go.
Yeah, good cleanups, picking up all of his sticks there.
And that's accuracy, right? Like
Yeah.
Derek Holm is one of the more accurate ones you look in the stat books out there.
Well, and that's what makes him great too, right? He can throw the strikes, but also the consistency on the spare shots and cleaning up those head pins. And he doesn't leave wood on the lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the metric for spare percentage would be out there that you'd want to be hitting, somewhere around that 90, 85,
80,
90, I'm thinking.
Yeah, at least 80.
Oh, punch there
Punch
for
for
Tyler. This
Ty.
could be the end, friends. He's still got 90 pins up there after this, but that's only going to get him to a max 250.
Yeah.
So 1 punch, 2 punch, 3 punch.
And it's interesting because the ladies were just, there was not a lot of head pins on the ladies' side, and pressure sometimes changes the way that you grip your ball or the way you finish your shot a bit, wanting it as badly as these people do.
So we can get to max 261, which is, I mean, hey, that's two
never
punches.
know,
I mean,
yep.
2 punches is a 30 count for Derek, so 255.
But
But
he absolutely needs one here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If he doesn't get one, it's somebody starting singing.
Yeah. Got a chance? Yeah, that's a good shot.
Got it.
Okay.
Like a mulligan back, I think.
Yep.
Okay, so Derek just needs to get to 260 in 2 frames. So he needs 35. So he
Yep.
needs a mark out of the next 2.
Yeah.
Just going to wait until that tangle is all cleared. If you got a fresh deck, you don't need anybody jumping down or moving around when you're about to shoot for a provincial title.
These are still very important shots. He will focus as much on this one as he has any other. Yeah, and
Oh,
he's
and he
got
gets
it.
the push.
Yeah, that shuts it out.
Pretty much. I mean, he needs to get to the 260, but, with
Yeah.
one ball and a little bit of side, you're 25, 30, you're
He's got
already there.
240 without throwing a shot here.
Yeah.
Counting double on the next 2.
But he wants to finish it off with a cap and
Absolutely.
shoots 350.
Yeah.
Get to his average of 290 for the qualifying today.
There's another great shot.
And there it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
There's the fist pump. Yeah.
Congratulations, Derek Holm, Big D, going back to nationals as your Alberta Open singles champion.
Yeah. Great day for Derek,
Yeah, averaging 290.
throwing those shots that he needed to throw to get himself to that first position in the Stepladder. It proves to be a huge advantage here.
You have a little bit of room to play with.
Yeah.
Didn't work out for him last year. Came back and you got it this year. So revenge on him.
Yeah.
You
Throws
know,
the
we
punch
got
there.
yeah.
That's an okay place
Tyler
for that.
Tickat's
Yeah.
going to be back in this scenario
Absolutely.
again and again. No shame there in what he did. Obviously, would certainly
No.
like a different result. But
Great run
there's-
for Tyler.
you got to beat everybody in order to be
Yeah.
the champ.
Yeah, and we have such a strong zone. It's, you come out of Alberta and you've got really high hopes to medal at nationals. And it just speaks to the level of competition that we have here. And to make it out of Alberta with a singles position is, your top players come to the top.
You're
right?
already looking at, okay, you're sort of the favorite now, aren't you, in
Yeah.
a way, going to nationals. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
well, friends, I think we'll wrap it up there. Katie Hicks, thanks for joining
Yeah,
me for
thank
the
you.
Stepladder. Great to have you on. Thanks, everybody, for watching, listening, enjoying.
Follow along the rest of the weekend for the team competition.
Yeah,
Be live
Thursday,
streams.
Friday, Saturday. We'll have lots of fun. We probably won't do a ton of commentary, but it'll be a good weekend all nonetheless. So thanks, everyone. Have a great
Thank
Wednesday
you.
night. Take care.
Coaches and managers are having a meeting over in the stats area. We'll make it quick as we can. And to the Chinook Golders that we postponed and pushed their league. We thank you guys for your patience.